I am insufferably pretentious. I mean, just listen to me. The way I string together polysyllabic words, juxtapose syntax versus the meaning and sub-meaning, or connotation, if you will, of a given turn of phrase. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the way that I'll intentionally string together complicated, mutually dependent syntax to get around to an idea. It's ridiculous the way that I'll use referential language as if to elevate myself above the dialogue, or elevate myself above those imagined viewers that I'm addressing. How ridiculous. How pretentious. After all you really need to do to get through all of my ridiculous pretensions is take a look at me. And you can see very clearly that I'm just a punk with pretensions of academic excellence. And I am pretentious. It's pretentious as hell for me to think that any of this is going to give me any kind of counterculture credibility. It's pretentious for me to think that I have the capacity to honestly and earnestly transcend the linguistic framework that I'm accustomed to operating in so that I can communicate. It is pretentious for me to think that I can take the concepts in my head and communicate them in an efficient, effective way, crossing cultural, educational, and sociological boundaries. That's very pretentious. It's pretentious for me to think that anyone's going to listen to me. It's pretentious for me to think that my ideas have value. It's pretentious for me to think that I'm addressing academia as if I was an outsider. It's pretentious for me to think that I'm a self-made man. It's pretentious for me to think that I have original thought. It's pretentious for me to think that thought can be communicated. It's pretentious for me to think I have any more street credibility than the average Mountain Dew marketing executive. It's pretentious for me to think that I can propose any sort of criteria for validating someone's authenticity. It's pretentious for me to ask questions of authenticity in the first place. It's pretentious of me to think that my ideas are reflective of the beliefs of any group, that I speak with the support of any group. It's pretentious of me to think that I can expect any group to support my views. It's pretentious of me to think that my appearance and my demeanor, and especially the conflict between them, will lend me any sort of credibility, even ironic credibility. It's pretentious of me to think of myself as capable of being really honest in this context, of being really honest in front of the camera. It's pretentious of me to think that I'm telling you anything that you don't already know. It's pretentious of me to think that you care enough about what I have to say to even invest the necessary effort to understand it. It's pretentious of me to think that what I have to say is worth understanding. It's pretentious of me, very pretentious of me, to think that any of these pretensions set me apart from anyone else in any particular way. It's pretentious of me to think that my pretentiousness is really mine.